Americans equate king with tyrant. Does that make it harder for Americans to understand why the Bible's Messiah is presented as the perfect king? From what I found so far, just the opposite is true. Check out this section of Jeremiah on the tyranny of Israel's kings. When it says, "Woe to the shepherds," it's talking about the kings. King as shepherd was a common image back then. And verse 2 makes it clear. "Therefore, this is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says to the shepherds who tend my people." They're tending people, not sheep. Woe to kings, not actual shepherds. Now, why all the woe? "Because you have scattered my flock and driven them away and have not bestowed care on them." Woe, because the kings have scattered God's flock and driven them away and have not bestowed care on them. You see, Americans, God hates tyrants too. In fact, that's why the whole king as shepherd imagery was so common back then. It wasn't because people were viewed as dumb. Kings were considered as shepherds because shepherds had an important trust back then. Sheep were highly valuable, and taking care of them was a pretty profitable business if you did it right. Under a good shepherd, the sheep were safe and prosperous. When the sheep weren't safe and prosperous, shepherds were forced to pay. Just look up sheep in the ancient Hamurrabi Code. I'll provide a link down below. So you see, the problem was that Israel's shepherds were tyrants. The people were neither safe nor prosperous. The royal courts were corrupt, and the army was weak. The people had been attacked by foreign powers and removed from their land. These kings were bad shepherds. So God would take matters into his own hands. "I myself will gather the remnant of my flock out of all the countries where I have driven them, and will bring them back to their pasture, where they will be fruitful and increase in number. I will place shepherds over them who will tend them, and they will no longer be afraid or terrified, nor will any be missing, declares the Lord." Better kings would come, and that was great, but this was also about much more. This was about the King, the Messiah. "The days are coming, declares the Lord, when I will raise up to David a righteous branch, a king who will reign wisely and do what is just and right in the land. In his days, Judah will be saved, and Israel will live in safety. This is the name by which he will be called, the Lord our righteousness." We can tell this is about the Messiah, because this promise was about more than any human king could normally provide. Sure, decent kings can provide a measure of wisdom and justice, but this king that God was promising would be righteous. That's who he would be. He would even be called the Lord our righteousness. Don't underestimate just how deep that promise of righteousness goes. Righteousness was key to the shepherd God was promising. This Messiah was no typical king. No selfish royal who's just like everyone else except for having won the genetic lottery. The Christ literally is the perfect king, ruling in service, giving his very life to the mission of keeping his people safe. Well, that's what I've got so far on Christ as the perfect king. Check the description down below for a bunch of informative links and related videos. Please make use of them. Also, if you're interested in encouraging the production of more videos like these, click on the like button and subscribe to the channel and share liberally. Take a look at my Patreon page too. Happy investigating and richest blessings to you all.